Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking for a good laugh, this monthly series promises to deliver the unexpected with a dash of humor. Tune in as Gene and BT dissect the what-the-fuck moments that makes pro wrestling the exciting spectacles they are. It's time to let loose and embrace the madness with the WTF News Desk, where Gene and BT bring you the 10 strangest and most fun topics each month, leaving you entertained, amused, and eagerly awaiting the next episode.
All right, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSPod.club production. Jonesboro, where it's as hot as a crack pipe in a trailer park at 2 a.m. in the morning. Damn, it's hot. This is episode 88 of WTF and episode 974 of STSPod.club. I'm BT. That's Gene over there. I just want to tell you there's no truth to the rumor that Gene, during the month of April, participated in Parsons, Tennessee at the world's largest coon hunt. He did not do that. He did not. That was not Gene. He is from Gadsden, Alabama, home of the Gadsden City Titans high school team. They start their season next Thursday against Muscle Shoals Trojans in Gadsden at 7 p.m. Gene, I know you're getting your tickets, but I want everybody to get their tickets. It starts at 7 p.m. All tickets are available online. He is the wrestling know-it-all, my new partner in crime, my best friend, well, most of the time. He's Gene Jackson, and together we are the Heckle and Jekyll of podcasting. How the hell are you, Gene?
Man, that intro just keeps getting longer and longer. You keep tacking on new names, but that's all right. Man, you are more up on Gadsden local sports than I am. I'm a little embarrassed now that you're so,
Well, I want to keep you.
You remember the Titans, if you will.
I know you're a huge sports fan when it comes to football and basketball and soccer. I just want to keep you up to date so you don't miss anything. Real quick, some business. The number 3 most listened, this is all audios, was bloopers. We never have this happen, but they tied. It was bloopers at WTF. That was episode 963 and 965. Episode number 2 for the month of July was Cassette Wrestling News, and that's number 970. And 5-minute time limit, episode 963 of July was the number 1. Overall, the audio plays were down a bit, but everything else was good. We broke our modern day, and I'm saying modern day because we did that WrestlingRideOnline.com, and I didn't really keep numbers for YouTube then. They were there, but I didn't look at them. We beat modern day number by 5%. So we're biggest month ever on TikTok since September of 2023, and we were 0.05% from the record. Best Facebook views since April of last year. Instagram, we actually set our record in May, but then we broke it by 23% there in July. Overall, 42% more plays than last year at this time. So, Gene, we're moving on. We're no sinking ship.
Well, let me add something here.
All right.
I don't keep up with numbers as closely as you do, but since this kind of involves you, I thought I would mention it. I'm happy to say that this week's episode of the Retro Wrestling Review, episode number 65, got the highest number of first-day downloads of any episode of the USWA podcast in the last 18 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So
it
came in hot. People wanted to see, the title of it was Farewell to the Fabs, and I guess people wanted to see what that was all about because, man, they hit it hard on the Transistor, which is what WrestleCopia uses for the audio podcast, and the numbers are steadily going up on YouTube. I actually waited a day for posting it up on YouTube just to see if that helped the downloads on the audio, and it did. And now the YouTube is spiking. So
Right
thanks
on,
to everybody
guys.
who checked it out, and thanks to you for joining us.
Oh man, I love that show. You know, I like Josh and you. Whatever about Richard, but no.
Well, it works out that you're always there when Richard's not, so I guess that's.
But yeah, it's a fun show. If you haven't jumped on board, they just started a brand new year. We're going to talk about it again during the retro WTF thing, but just let everybody know it's a fun show to do. We don't take ourselves very serious, and we enjoy old Memphis wrestling. So yeah, fun. As always, Gene, we start with number 10. I've renamed it There Is Something Strange in the Neighborhood. And I'm going 10. There we go. I'm going to play some clips, and we're just going to talk over the clips. We're not, no sound to the clips. Make sure, yeah. So first up, we got, this is all from Soft Ground Wrestling. It's Uganda's leading wrestling revolution.
Wait, this ain't Gadsden? This ain't that wrestling at the mall in Gadsden?
What you're seeing, if you're not seeing the screen, it's two women, African women, in these long dresses fighting each other. That was the first match, and they listed it as Black Women Brawling Dresses. This was from Sperm Wars in Uganda, July the 27th. Yeah, I mean, bizarre matches usually come from DDT in Japan, but we now have matches in Uganda to look at. These, I like that purple dress. I don't know about you, Gene, but you know,
she hit a hell of a earthquake splash earlier on that. Oh my gosh, these ladies are just killing each other out here. This is amazing. Oh no, don't.
Yeah, there we go. You can't let her do this.
You can't let her. Oh my god, jeez, that's terrible. Hey, you better quit if you can speak.
It looks real stiff.
Yeah, to say the least. It looks like they're killing each other here.
Y'all need to make sure you're watching the video of the show. You get a little bit more to it. They also had a match. And if you notice, that first match wasn't even a ring. It was just mud, but they had a ring in the water.
Yeah,
this
wait a minute. Whoa, what happened?
This match is a mixed gender handicap match, and that was Sperm Wars 2025. Guys, if you're not watching the video, that is a man on top handcuffed. It's a handcuffed mixed gender match.
Live crew used to call that putting them in the buck, is what they called that there. I'm sure Sperm Wars must have been sponsored by Spunk Lube as well, right?
It was sponsored by SpunkLube.com. I looked up Sperm Wars. They were
I hate to know what all you found.
They were just trying to make a joke. It's not considered vulgar in their society. It's Sperm Wars in the sense that you know how sperm fight each other.
No, I really have witnessed a lot of that.
Yeah, well, they do. They fight each other. They don't dress up or anything. But, you know, they say there's 1 million sperm per ejaculation, as they say in the South. And so that's how the sperm war started is, you know, someone's got to fight to get ahead. Y'all are missing it if you're not watching the video, especially that clip of the handcuff match. So there you go, number 10. We do have Hero, you call him Hank, Shibata later, but he was unavailable when we started doing this, so we just thought we'd talk over the Sperm War. So that was number 10. 10.
That's how we're starting out. Man, these other 9 are going to have to bring it to top that. Good Lord, that was brutal.
We had number 9 is our What the Fuck Dave, and as of last month, we also had some stuff from other kayfabe, our dirt sheet riders. Dave, in a section of the internet, I just don't think they get it when it comes to Joe Hendry and what it is to be at WrestleMania. Dave went on to say he was talking about the dangers of long-term of a relationship with TNA, too much win on one side and not the other, where the champions come across as second-rate as stars like when Hendry lost to Randy Orton at Mania. He's still fucking talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been studying this business for all these years, and he still doesn't get it. And so his, blind loyal followers just continue to parrot this same shit on their social media, and hold their nose up in the air and act like they know it all. Ironically, so whatever, Dave. If you think that wrestling Randy Orton at WrestleMania hurt Joe Hendry, hurt the TNA title, hurt TNA wrestling as a whole, then you clearly aren't the expert you claim to be, and your little followers can go and post it out into the void to the whoever they think's looking at their social media. But anybody who understands business in general, and especially the wrestling business, you have to get this. It's not that hard.
No, not at all. But Alvarez jumped right in on it.
This was one of those things. Golly, if you want to ask me the worst thing about WWE, it's segments like this.
Yeah.
Trick just won the NXT. He just retained the title at the biggest NXT show of all time. He comes out and he's just like a massive superstar. And he cuts his promo and he's so great and he's so
He was great on Raw.
Yeah, it's like this guy is, he should be a top guy in the main roster right now. And then out comes The Undertaker. And they do a talking segment. And Trick tries to attack him. And Undertaker chokeslams him and leaves him for dead. And it's the same crap I've had to put up with for like 40 years. Old guy beats up young champ, but the young guy is getting the rub by getting his... God.
Now, Gene, what I want you to do is, even though you are the TNA champion, I want you at the very end of NXT, how about we do something with Hulk Hogan? With The Undertaker.
So that's going to be tough. I'd be a little freaked out, honestly.
We do something with The Undertaker. What are you going to say?
Of course, you're going to say yes. Now, one thing I will say about this, and I'm not saying I'm against it, anytime that a current star can brush up against a legend like The Undertaker, it puts them in the same light. But I don't really know what it does for anybody for Undertaker to chokeslam him when there's nowhere to go from here. They're not going to wrestle. I don't know. I would maybe book it to where they just kind of have, words, and maybe it somehow ends in a handshake or something. I don't know. But nobody thinks any less of Trick after this, and it doesn't hurt anything. But I do see it as somebody who's no longer actually wrestling. I don't love that he's out there, choke slamming the champion. And that you might can say that makes me, a hypocrite. And if so, so be it. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying I see where somebody can have a problem with that more than the Joe Hendry wrestling at WrestleMania. Because NXT is his show, it's a big difference for Joe Hendry to walk out, a TNA contracted champion to walk out on Wrestle fucking Mania than Trick Williams to get, chokeslammed by The Undertaker on NXT. But same general principle, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't think it doesn't bother me at all. Mainly because I'm saying it's The Undertaker I'm kind of getting a rub, and that's what they're doing. They had a storyline for it. It was kind of lame, but none of that stuff really bothers me how much it bothers the Dirt Sheet guys. The last thing I want to mention, WTF Dave. Dave says in a tweet, and I'm going to read the tweet, star ratings have nothing to do with my taste. Sorry, I've hated matches I've given big ratings to, including this week when he was talking about the AEW Texas Death Match, which he gave, I think, 5 or 7 stars. I can't remember. So what does a fucking star ratings have to do with then?
I don't even really want to go down this path because we could have a whole podcast about how much of nothing these fucking star ratings mean and have ever meant.
I always was told it was his personal taste.
Well, it is, because the only way it's not his personal taste is if there was a set, established rating system that involves stars that Dave had nothing to do with. That it was just, this was handed down from the mountain back in the day, from the Lord handed it to Luthez, and it's moved down from there. No, this star ratings was invented by Dave, and it's based on what? His likes. You can lie and say it's not, but no, that's all those star ratings are. And you go back and look at the star ratings he gave matches that got over with a crowd but didn't get over with him. And then you see some of the big 5 and 6 star affairs that he gave stars to that the crowd were sitting on their hands. I mean, it's all about, and it's his newsletter, so that's fine. He can do that. But damn, don't sit here and tell us it has nothing to do with your taste. It has everything to do with your taste.
I had a hard problem with that. And I've had, I used to do star ratings, but I had to just quit doing it. It just got to where it was just so silly for us to do it. And it really, I started when Lance was here. I started talking about, I had a new system where I just did thumbs up or thumbs down. And you know what? That's easier. Hey, I like that match. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then when he went over the 5 stars and started giving shit 7 stars and everything. Now, Kyle Fletcher has more 5-star matches than Kurt Angle had. Now, I like Kyle Fletcher. Don't get me wrong. But he's no Kurt Angle. But come on.
No. I mean, 5 stars is the best you can get. Then when you start going over that, now 5 stars isn't the best anymore. So 5-star ratings don't mean that much because there's other people that have gotten 6 and 7 stars. So now you just fucked up the entire system. So
do you know the origin of the stars?
I've heard it in the past on podcasts explained at different times.
It was Norm Dooley. Norm Dooley is a friend of Jim Cornette's, and they started rating stars matches 1 through 4 is what they were doing. And I think the very first 5-star match, and then they stopped at 5 stars, was Funk Lawler from Memphis. And Norm Dooley, just I had a little bit of dealings with him. Just a great, fantastic guy. Shout out to Norm. I don't know if he's still alive or not. But yeah, I mean, I can't shout out. I mean, I can shout out his grave. There you go. All right, we're up to. I might not know it all, but I know more than you. This kind of fits in a few categories, really, but we're going to go ahead and bring it up. This is a tweet. This category every month's going to be a tweet that we say, man, there was a lot of stuff caused by this tweet, or why did you do this tweet? But one of my favorite girl wrestlers in WWE, Chelsea Green, I like her husband too. Political views aside, Hulk Hogan's influence on the wrestling world was clearly undeniable. He inspired millions and shaped an entire generation of fans, my husband included. We are mourning the loss of an icon, a legend. My love goes out to his family. Now, I'm going to say she has every right in the world to say this right here. Right, Gene?
Yes, without a doubt.
But then she went back and started apologizing to everybody for what she had said. So that's why I included this to be part of number 8. I might not know it all, but I know more than you kind of thing. Come on, Chelsea. Stick to your guns.
Well, did you hear she was getting death threats?
Oh, yeah. Part of that was, yeah.
I hate that she did it, but I don't blame her. I mean, because when you're out in public traveling like she is and all that, you don't want somebody lurking around the corner who wants to kill you over a freaking tweet. But, I love the quote. I might not know it all, but I know more than you. I almost want to get that on a T-shirt. Like everybody knows I'm not like a big ladies wrestling fan, but Chelsea Green is definitely one of my absolute favorites. I enjoyed getting to see the episode of her on the Unreal and kind of getting to see the behind the scenes of what went into the U.S. title win and all that stuff.
Matt has a lot to do with this, but she gets it. She gets it when it comes to. I remember her having a 3 or 4 minute segment on Raw, and everybody was showing it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she said something on Twitter. She said, "Look, whatever they give you, how much time they give you, go out there and do the best you can do for that amount of time. And when she said that, I started becoming a big fan of hers. And she has, 2 or 3 different kind of characters that she does, and she goes out and she does it every time.
Yeah,
She gets
you can
it.
tell
She really gets it.
she didn't just say that. I think it's exactly what she does each and every time out. So yeah, kudos to her. And that's a whole nother all this stuff about Hogan's complicated legacy and all this shit.
I'm going to tell you, here's something really funny. They're special on Fox last night, I think it was, or the night before. They did a fantastic job showing the different aspects of Hogan and how, and you said this, and these clips that we did from the 5-minute time limit, they're getting, but I think because it says Hogan, they're getting more views than anything this month. But you said it. This is one of the biggest star ever that we saw in the business. Ever. Say what you want to, if he said the N-word, I'm going to point to everybody in the crowd right now. Anyone's listening, anyone's listening to the audio, anyone's listening to the video. If you tell me you haven't said the N-word, you're a MF liar. I'm just going to tell you, especially if you're in the South. I'm sorry.
I won't go that far, but I will say this. If you are of a certain age group and you live in the South and beyond the South, someone and someone you love has definitely said that word frequently at some point in your life. And you don't love them any less. You don't think any less of them because that's just how they were raised. It was a different world. I mean, I'm not defending. Look, if you're offended by what Hulk Hogan said and it ruined his legacy for you, that's your right, by all means. But everyone else has the right to still look up to him. And, the fact that she had felt the need to have to go back and back down off that tweet because she's getting death threats. I just, yes, what he said was unacceptable. But you got to take the context of it. He said it at a moment of anger, at a moment of privacy that he thought he didn't know was being recorded. I think there's enough actions on his part over the years that kind of cancels out. It shows what kind of dude he really was compared to, he said these words on a certain day. But like mainstream things, you say, he's a man with a complicated legacy. I'm like, is it really that complicated? Are y'all making it complicated? But
yeah.
It is what it is.
All right, that was number 8. Number 7, we always let you do number 7. It's the retro WTF moment in wrestling. Did we go ahead and use this one I picked, or did you find something else?
No.
All right, go ahead and talk to us about this.
Okay, so the as we're rolling into SummerSlam 91, we've built up the match made in heaven and the match made in hell. With you got Macho and Liz are getting married on one side of the coin, and on the other side of the coin, you got this big tag team match. It's going to be Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior taking on Sergeant Slaughter, General Adnan, and Colonel Mustafa, aka the Iron Sheik, with special referee Sid Justice. And so this is a huge main event. I remember being excited about this as a kid. And as we get close to SummerSlam, the Ultimate Warrior threatens to quit the company. He sends a letter to Vince.
I love this. He sent a letter. That's 1991. That tells you this is retro, folks.
Exactly. He couldn't send a text. He couldn't shoot him an email. He sent a formal letter to Vince McMahon in July. Bear in mind that August is when you have SummerSlam. So in July, he sends this letter demanding more money, equal pay to Hulk Hogan, and a bigger cut of the merch. Now, this match has already been getting advertised by now. Yeah, I know you're thinking, well, July, it wasn't until August. We're already, back then especially, BT, you can attest to this, it was going out in the magazines and posters and, all that advertisements were out there.
The publishing date of the magazine, you had to know ahead of time what was going on. Yeah.
Because now and again, that would screw people. Like, for instance, let's say this same summer, that same month, over in WCW, we had magazines going out with a poster on the back that said Ric Flair versus Lex Luger for the WCW title. But by the time Great American Bash rolls around, Jim Herd has fired Ric Flair, and we've now got Lex Luger versus Barry Windham for the title. But you couldn't change the ads are already out there. But anyway, so he threatens to no-show SummerSlam 91 if his demands weren't met. So, you got this big major main event, and we've always heard over the years from, Bruce Pritchard and different people that Vince's big thing is get the match in the ring, whatever you got to do. That would be a factor to a future SummerSlam with our friend old Double J. When he did something similar to this, except he didn't send a letter. He did it night of, which probably is a better way to do it, honestly. But so Vince agreed temporarily, at least, to cave to the Warriors' demands just to get the match in the ring. We get through the match, and after the match, Vince immediately suspends him right after the pay-per-view. And I'm sure soured the relationship between Warrior and Vince for years. I mean, yeah, Warrior stuck around, eventually came back, but I don't think it was ever really the same. They may have finally kind of repaired that bridge, when he came back for the Hall of Fame, and we know how that played out. And that's a tough pill to swallow, to have one of your big stars that you pulled from relative obscurity and put on the level of Hulk Hogan to try to hold you up for one of your biggest pay-per-views of the year. But definitely
he was a big star, but the what the fuck part of this that got me was he wanted equal pay to Hulk Hogan and cut of the merchandise, which I have no problem with his cut, but apparently he wanted the same cut as Hulk was getting for his merchandise too. And you're thinking, this is fucking Hulk Hogan. You're the Warrior.
Yeah.
I know you're over, but god dang, you're not that over.
Well, let's bear in mind, too, we just had, I won't call it a failed run, but he had just had his run. He beat Hogan at WrestleMania. He was a champion. He wasn't drawing what Hogan drew, to the point that eventually we had to pivot and get the belt back on Hogan, So it wasn't really in a place to call itself equal to Hogan in pay or even in merch sales, because he didn't sell the tickets. He didn't bring the money in that Hulk did. So this was a ballsy move by him, but just one of many that the Warrior would make throughout his life.
We may have another moment or two of WTF retro moments with the Warrior in the future. All right, number 6. We did get Hank to do this for us. And I mentioned it while I was on Retro, on the episode of Retro this week. I'm sorry. The Retro number every month is number 7, and it's brought to you by the USWA Retro Podcast.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
If you're watching the video, you got to see the exclusive retro commercial for WTF. You saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, there's some people upset. You put yourself right over Lance the entire time he was on the screen there. You're going to get some heat. You're going to get some death threats like Chelsea Green now, buddy.
Oh, God. Well, let's hear. I spoke about on the Retro podcast that I was watching the G1. I said about 19 days of wrestling. But let's listen to what happens. This is so fucking confusing. Let's listen to what happens when we go into the playoffs.
Top 3 place winners make the playoffs. On August 14th at Korakuen Hall, the second place wrestler in the A block faces third place in B, and second place in B faces third place in A in a show that starts at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The winner of the second place in B versus third place in A match will face the A block winner, while the winner of second place in A versus third place in B will face the B block winner, both on August 16th at the Ariake Arena in a show that starts at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Those two winners meet in the finals on August 17th at the Ariake Arena in a show that takes place late Saturday night in the US at 2 a.m. Eastern, technically on Sunday.
Well, Gene, are you clear as mud, as I like to say? The only thing I really understood about all that is that we do have the finals Sunday morning about 1 o'clock our time. Other than that, that confused the hell out of me.
I'm not going to understand how anybody got there, but I guess I'll see them when they get there, right? Like, kudos to Hank for trying to explain as best he could.
Oh, he tried his best. As you can tell, we've said this before, his English is not perfect, but he does a good job. And I read that and I said, huh? And I read it again and I kept going, huh? And I go, man, this is a WTF for sure for us. A whole number on how the hell the G1 works. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, as always, we do halftime.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Next Friday, August 22nd, meet WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi in Tupelo, benefiting St. Jude. Next Saturday, August 23rd, Cowboy James Storm is coming to Gleason, Tennessee for the Tatertown Throwdown, benefiting Gleason Beta Club. Next Sunday, August 24th, meet Rikishi live at the Wrestle Center. Friday, September 5th, meet Buff Bagwell live at the Dyer County Fair. Saturday, September 6th, don't miss Wrestling Night with the Memphis Redbirds. Friday, September 12th, Memphis Wrestling returns to the Lauderdale County Fair with free admission. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Wrestling fans, are you ready? Every Friday night in Osceola, Arkansas, MCW, the legacy continues. Live, hard-hitting, family-friendly wrestling action every Friday night at the MCW Arena, located at 1098 West Kaiser. Doors open at 6:30 and the action starts at 8 p.m. sharp. Don't miss your chance to see the stars of MCW battling out in the ring, rivals, drama, and slam-packed action. Following wrestling superstars are appearing: Chase McCoy, C Money, LA Hustlers, Party Factory, Zaya Wolf, DJ Cash, JT Williams, Galen Ray, Serpent, 187, Luke, Justice, and many, many more. Here's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, I want you to search Facebook for Osceola's Mid-Southern Championship Wrestling. All ticket information, how to get your ticket, what time the show starts, everything right there on Facebook. All tickets are on sale right now. Be there! This summer, the heat isn't just from the weather, it's from the ring. Well, actually, there's no ring. Dedicated Visual Arts Studio and Natural State Wrestling proudly presents Summer Clash Bash, the most chaotic, action-packed slam-filled party of the year. Live music, no ring, no rules wrestling, a birthday party, and a benefit show all rolled up into one unforgettable night. Jam out to bands like Benadryl, Crisco Kids, Roll Cradle, and many more. And the fights? We're talking 5 no ring, no rules matches featuring the wildest wrestlers in the Mid-South, including Buddy Badcock, William Blackwell, and many, many more. The location? Well, it's at 5521 MacArthur Drive, North Little Rock, Arkansas. Time? It's Sunday, August the 17th, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tickets? Well, just $5. Our donations are encouraged. And the best part? All proceeds go to families affected by ice. That's right. Everybody slam, every guitar riff, every cheer is making a real difference. Summer Clash Bash. It's not just a show, it's a movement. Be there, be loud, be in the crowd. That's right. Be there. All right, it's time for halftime. Oh, all right, man. That breaks off real quick. Gene, I didn't tell you what halftime was going to be about. I didn't even send it to you, but I thought maybe off the cuff here. Some stuff going on today and yesterday I saw on X, and I was just going to throw it to you and see what you thought about it. So I don't know if it's legit, but it seems like all the dirt sheets have grabbed the story that WWE is doing everything that they can do to help TNA so that TNA is the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world, not AEW. What's your thoughts on this? Do you think maybe it's coming down to they'll eventually buy TNA, or do you think, and I really want to say WWE doesn't care about AEW, but that would be lying there because of all the shows that they're doing, back-to-back shows and promoting stuff like that. But do you think this is good for TNA? Is it good for wrestling? What's your thoughts on TNA being the number 2 promotion?
I mean, how could it be bad for TNA? If WWE is not trying to drive you out of business, if they're trying to help you move up to number 2 and take over past AEW, I don't see a downside to that. And I don't see any reason why WWE wouldn't help TNA. As far as if we learned anything, once they put everybody out of business back in the day, boy, did the quality sure go down.
Oh, wow.
Once there was no WCW, once there was no ECW. And what they learned was there was all these people who were WCW fans who I guess Vince just assumed like, well, when there's no WCW, they'll all come to us. Well, they didn't. They just turned off wrestling, and a lot of them never, ever came back. So, I guess they figure if they can pull the fans and, pull the TNA fans to WWE and the WWE fans over to TNA collectively, that gives them a leg up on AEW because, AEW seems to have a endless supply of money behind it, but then again, we're talking, this ain't just Vince anymore. You're talking TKO. And they certainly have their fair share of money behind them as well. So it's interesting. It's something I never thought we would see. Like, it's weird that this seems so normal to us now that we've seen TNA wrestlers at WrestleManias and Royal Rumbles and, SummerSlams and things like that. It doesn't feel so odd. But there's a time, if somebody like, the time machine would come back, hey, WWE is going to be helping TNA one day. And you're like, get out of here. No, they're not. WWE doesn't help anybody but themselves. So it's interesting.
I love the idea. I think it's a great thing for, even though if they don't buy, they are able to provide their talent more reps, be in front of a lively crowd when they're selling, 3,000 to 4,000, a small crowd, but a large crowd for TNA or more. And, you got these people from Evolve that they're doing the TV show, which is, before that people go to NXT or people that went to NXT and are sent back. You can use those folks. There's also talk that they will, when they get their new TV contract, they're not going to have a problem going to Wednesday nights head to head with AEW. So what would you think about that?
That'll be interesting because, AEW was having a trouble with NXT, so I hope they don't buy TNA. I hope they just help them for a variety of reasons. But I think as long as they're their own thing, Because if WWE buys them, well, now they're just another brand, like
Right,
NXT
right.
and SmackDown and everything else. And it also gives them a whole other crop of talent to work with that's not on their payroll. So there's not going to be these cuts. It was like we have a couple of rough months. Like, all right, we got to cut a bunch of people. Them TNA people be their own people. They keep who they want. And, WWE can cycle in who they want and just not take the others. So
It
I
kind
think
of
it's
reminds me,
interesting.
go ahead, the old MCW model. It's not that, but developmental was that they bring people in from WWE, use them, and you have your own set of bookers. They had a little bit more control. I kind of think they have some control over who wins or who loses, kind of thing, or what they do with them. But at least you got the bookers or the guys behind TNA is going to be able to use more different talent, bring in with different ideas and such. I love the Hardys being able to go to NXT and all that kind of stuff. I love it. TNA, I've not been able to follow it on a regular basis most of this year, but I do watch the highlights. And huge Trick Williams, man. He's going to be a huge star, and it's fun to see him on there being just, a total asshole heel. So I love that stuff. All right, guys, that was halftime. All right, we're up to
It does not fade out. It is very abrupt how that ends.
Or we could do it this way.
Come on now, BT.
Oh man, we're having just two. That was ridiculous. We're having just way too much
Can I
fun.
add one thing
Yes,
about the
yes.
halftime commercials? I think Tater Town Throwdown may be my new favorite name for a wrestling show.
Oh
ever.
man, that's
Tremendous.
I think that's the second annual Tater Town.
Yeah, you
That's
keep that
awesome.
going.
All right, number 5 is always Smarks be acting crazy. Man, they had a fun time as they did an angle on TV, and Blake Monroe came out and showed a picture of Jordan Grace, pretty much showed her in the past and what she used to look like. And, well, everybody just jumped saying, well, she's calling her fat. She can't call her fat. Don't call her fat. What'd you think about that?
I mean, in the context of the way we're wanting to present it, yes, that's what Blake Monroe is doing it. But in reality, we're really, for the WWE fans who aren't familiar with Jordan Grace, they're really just showing off the progress she made of, hey, this was the shape she was in. This is the shape she's gotten herself into. They're putting her over. They're not calling her fat. They're putting her over like, hey, she put in this work and she went from looking, being a larger gal, if you want to call her that or whatever, on the indies. And now she is in the WWE. She's got herself here through hard work and determination. But I mean, that's just it. You can't do anything that can be construed as making fun of someone, be it in the past or whatever, because everybody comes screaming to their defense, even if they didn't ask for it.
Don't ever call me fat or bald. Whatever you do, I will cry.
Well, we only do that on Patreon. So not
shit. That's what I was thinking when I actually saw that, and everyone started getting upset with the fat comment. So Smarks be acting crazy. They were acting 10 kinds of crazy with this Seth Rollins injury. And they spent the whole time from the time, that LA Knight pinned him to the moment Seth came out and cashed in the money. As you said, we've become more interested. You made a note about this. I think it was last month. We've become more interested about what's going on behind the scene than we are what's actually in this on the screen there. They said that no one knew what was going on, and my thoughts on this, that I think everything's a work no matter what. But this had been planned. This was the angle, and guess what? The dirt sheets actually got this one right. What was your thoughts on it? Did you think it was he had faked the injury, or did you not really give a shit? You just wanted to see what they did with it?
So I was watching that Saturday Night's Main Event, and to be totally honest, and I didn't even say this when we talked about it on Patreon for the USWA show, but when it got to the Rollins and LA Knight match, I was looking at my phone. Anytime LA Knight's in the ring, I'm looking at my phone. I'm on the laptop. I could give a flying fuck about LA Knight doing anything. So I wasn't watching. And then all of a sudden I hear, and LA Knight gets the win. I'm like, what? So I ran it back a little bit. I'm like, why the fuck would they put LA Knight over Seth? Because the theory everybody had initially, now everybody's altered their theories now. Oh, I knew he's going to do it at SummerSlam. Everybody thought going into Saturday Night's Main Event from the time Goldberg walked his ass out on Raw and challenged Gunther, they thought that Goldberg would beat Gunther and Seth would cash in on Goldberg. Braun Breaker, people laid this out. Braun Breaker would spear Goldberg, Seth would turb stomp him, and then he would win the title from Goldberg. That's what everybody initially thought. Then when this wrinkle got thrown in of Seth's knee injury, they're like, oh, well, I bet it's a work for SummerSlam. Now, I will say the way they executed it, I thought was pretty good. It was more subtle than some of the ones they've done in the past, where I kept telling everybody, like, it could go either way. If it turns out it's a work, I won't be surprised. But if it turns out he's really hurt, I won't be either. I'm like, and I almost kind of leaned towards that. I was like, why in the hell would they let LA Knight pin him? But regardless of who figured out when and who actually knew, kudos. And I'm not a huge Seth Rollins fan, but kudos to Seth Rollins. This man was out on crutches with his daughter, taking her to school.
I love that. That video is one of my favorite things of the whole month. Is him
going out
on
to dinner.
Crutches.
I mean, this guy was old school kayfabe all the way. And as much as I'm a huge CM Punk fan, when he came out, you heard that music hit and you're like, son of a bitch, it was a work. It was a work. Then he stays on the crutches and he turns to leave and you're like, okay, it wasn't a work. They're just fucking with us. And then he dropped the crutches. I mean, you couldn't help but pop, man. It was so well done.
100%. I popped for it. I
liked it. I liked it.
I did too. I told the wife, I said, that was really fun. I said, the part about everybody was speculating whether it was a shoot or a work it was kind of getting on my nerves, but then it was, I thought it was really funny to see Meltzer get up on Twitter and puff his chest out and say, look, that's what I said. That's what I said. It was a work. It was a work.
That's what sucks though. And, me and Richard have talked about this, and Josh too, because we'll be texting a lot of times when these shows are going on. But anytime old cynical assholes like us that's been in the business and do podcasts and all this shit, we try not to be cynical. Anytime you can fool us and surprise us, like the Cena turn back at Elimination Chamber, and then this, it's fun for a few minutes. Wrestling feels fun and unpredictable again. Like, holy shit, they got me. I love it. But then you get online, and nobody's talking about what a great angle it was, or what a great performance by Seth Rollins or Punk or Gunther or Heyman. All anybody can do is try. I knew it. I knew it work. I told you. If you look back 6 weeks ago at 4:30 p.m. on a Friday, I said it was going to. Fuck off. Just
that's what I said. We had them acting crazy also. Smartsby acting crazy. They got upset with Drew McIntyre about something he said. I'm going to play what he said, and most of the people thought he was talking about his friends turning on AEW and taking a look at the wrestlers that are on AEW. So here we go.
And the more you put me in those situations, especially with WWE, it drives me nuts when I see some of our guys on some of these huge, public platforms, huge TV shows, because these days, no offense, but 85% of our guys don't look like they should be in WWE. They're on Netflix and stuff. And my buddies will contact me and go, yo, I just turned on the wrestling for a while to see what you're up to. Yeah. And it's cool to see people, Logan Paul's on there and he's killing it. Roman Reigns, what a freaking star. That guy comes on the screen, comes right off the screen. You're a freaking giant. There's these other guys that look like they should be serving me my fast food, McDonald's or whatever. And it looks like I could kick their ass. It takes me out of it. And I'm like, they're good at wrestling. And eventually you'll connect with them. But it's like, I'm not going to watch it long enough. I changed the channel. It's like, Jesus, guys, get in the freaking.
So if you watch it long enough, you're going to end up changing the channel, which he's right, y'all. I'm sorry, AEW fans. He's right. These guys, and I was a Darby Allin fan, and there's some other guys on there, Hook, you name it, they do not look like wrestlers, and people are not buying it. They really are not buying that. And Drew just upset everybody.
I don't get a chance to watch or listen to very many podcasts these days, but that came out the week that I was down with the kidney stone and everything. And so I actually watched that whole interview, and it was really good. I mean, from beginning to end, it was a really great interview. And an odd thing is, like, I got a couple of friends who are big fans of Drew McIntyre. I really just don't give a shit about watching Drew McIntyre wrestle. I mean, I could take him or leave him. He's a big dude, and he has decent matches and all that. But he's so freaking entertaining. And he addresses it in that interview where he's like, I've tried to, bring this part of my personality to the character. And Vince was always like, no, you're my big, Scottish warrior. But then once Vince was out of the picture, he went to Triple H. Triple H was like, yeah, let's start trying some things out. And then, then he's doing stuff like the selfies and all the shit on social media with Punk and Seth and everybody. So he's extremely entertaining. But to me, that just kind of illustrates these other guys he's knocking. Well, they get over with stuff in the ring, even though they don't look like wrestlers. But for me, in the past, Drew looked like a wrestler, but I wasn't entertained by him in the ring. I'm more entertained by his shenanigans out of the ring. So I guess as long as you can bring something to the table, that entertains. But I really like this combination of, like, Drew. I don't know how much longer it's going to last now, but this combination of Drew and Logan Paul going to SummerSlam and all the stuff with Orton and Jelly Roll and all that, I thought was really good. I thought people didn't really give that match as much credit as they really should have. I thought it was a good match for what it was, and I thought, for a guy that a year and a half ago or whatever weighed damn near 600 pounds, all the weight Jelly Roll's lost, and as hard as he worked at trying. I didn't love the whole James Brown aspect where they carry him out and he's, like you throw the tape off and go back on stage. Like I call it when me and my wife was watching, I called it the James Brown spot. But I thought that was kind of ridiculous.
Well, that spot also, you go back to what you said earlier, made me forget. I said that because the spot looked like he did get killed. I thought he died. And so I said, well, he's done. They're carrying him out. And the wife said, you think he's going to turn around? And I'm like, nah, he's done. He's done for the night. And then when he stopped, all I could think about was Mick Foley. But
it was
Jelly
very
Roll's
reminiscent.
Yeah, very respectful to the business, loves the business, and he was supposed to win. So he decided that he shouldn't win. So there we go. That's the big deal with Jelly Roll. I'm a big fan of Jelly Roll. I've liked him before COVID, before everybody else jumped. See, I told you. I told you, Jelly Roll.
I used to do stand-up comedy with the guy who one of the guys, Jonathan, who's his manager now. And so I've always kind of had a little insight before he blew up. And it's just been fun for me to watch because I knew what like a humble, just normal, down-to-earth guy he was because Jonathan would tell me about him. And I could have, if I'd have been off work, went and been in a couple of his early videos if I could have got up to Nashville. But to watch him just blow up and become the phenomenon that he has the last couple of years is fucking amazing.
Right.
And he don't have to
go ahead.
He don't have to go to a performance center and bust his ass and take bumps and do the shit it requires to try to get in there and wrestle a match at SummerSlam. He could have just walked up there and got a check just being in his corner. But he loves this shit and wanted to do it right. And I think he did. I think the people who were critical, let them try to do it.
Yeah, fuck off. I mean, he looked really good. I was going to go see him in Minglewood Hall in Memphis, really small arena. This was kind of he had went from rap to a little bit of what he was doing now. But I was I like his rap. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Number 4, it's wrestlers behaving badly. I got a couple of things on here that I just threw on here because, I don't know. I just found them funny. The first thing is Tony Khan is a nerd.
Hopefully you can watch Wednesday Night Dynamite with us tonight. Can't wait to see you very soon. Thank you for joining us for AEW. I think we're having a great 2025 in AEW, thanks to our great wrestlers, because AEW is where the best wrestle, and thanks to our fantastic staff. And most importantly, thanks to all of you the greatest wrestling fans in the world, thank you very much. See you tonight.
I don't
BT,
know why.
I just think it's great that everything's so great that all those great wrestlers have great
Go
matches.
ahead and do your
great
imitation. He sounds so much like our president. So there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Just hilarious to me. Another thing that I put behaving badly just because I thought it was hilarious, but Sheeta, in AEW, she's been having some passport problems, and she left her cat. Don't know why this was news, but she left her cat with Kenny Omega. I just want you to know that. And Dave Meltzer made it a point to say when they interviewed Kenny Omega a few weeks ago, Sheeta's cat made a guest appearance. So there you go.
Breaking news.
I don't know why. Bailey, there was a guy in the crowd. I don't know if you saw this, but Bailey made some kind of comment about a hot shirtless guy, get his number or something like that. And all of a sudden they ended up finding this guy. His name is, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It's Gaglione. You could see him at Lift with Christ. Whoa. Doing a Jesus gimmick there, Gene. But he finally got a photo opportunity with her, and it was fun to see that. Kind of a feel-good moment, but she's acting all hot and bothered on that one.
That's fun. Definitely fun.
And we had talked about this on another episode about the WrestleMania one we never got to see. But it's not only wrestlers. I think that's the reason they're afraid the wrestlers are going to behave badly, because they were supposed to have a Kill Tony with Tony Hinchcliffe there at SummerSlam, but they canceled it. What do you think?
Well, I couldn't believe after the controversy that the WrestleMania one started up that they even scheduled one for SummerSlam. And honestly, I think personally the reason they canceled it was more so probably not worrying about the wrestlers behaving badly, but more so the things that would come out and get said against some of those wrestlers that were actually true. I know there were some hurt feelings at the WrestleMania one, but I think it was probably just a matter of like, yeah, we don't need to making jokes about, criminal histories or any racist remarks or anything that maybe isn't already public that might come out through, hearsay of that. So let's just not do that. So I don't know that you'll see them scheduling any more Tony Hinchcliffe extravaganzas.
And you're talking about one of the best roasters ever, especially modern day roaster. Some of those old roasts are pretty tough. So, all right, we're up to number 3. Shock me, wrestling's shocking moments for the month. Well, we go with the number 1 shocking moment. Cora Jade has retired. And here's the shocking part. She's retiring because she's making more on OnlyFans than she made as a woman wrestler in the last month with WWE.
Wow.
Does that shock you?
Holy shit. Well, I mean, yes and no.
It does, but yeah.
I mean, I know I've heard like some crazy numbers for like Mandy Rose and who was the other blonde?
I don't know. Her and Mandy are doing some contributing some stuff, calibrating together. Like me and you calibrate. Calibrate.
What was that chick's name? She come out with the flag stuff at first, and she was all saluting and shit.
Oh, I can't remember.
Can't think of her name. But anyways, a couple of hot blondes are getting half naked or all the way naked. I don't know. I don't pay for OnlyFans, but
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I've said this in the past. I would not contribute to OnlyFans from a star, Gene. I want my OnlyFans girls to look like the woman across the street. Well, not that woman, but you know what I mean. I want just a normal looking woman, and I know she's working hard for her money, and I'm going to give her $5 for the month.
That's the crazy thing about that is how many of those people there are on there. Like I see people I know who are pimping their wives' OnlyFans, and I'm just like, what? What the fuck are we doing? Like, really? But I mean, hey, you're an adult. If you want to put the pictures out there and another adult wants to pay for them, that's
Go for
your
it. That's what
business. Go for it.
if I can't find a new job here in a couple weeks, I maybe start my OnlyFans. I'm just going to show butthole. That's all I'm going to do is butthole OnlyFans. There we go. And another shock me story, which was really a big shock. It's when we see shit like this, I'm so happy that we do. What the fuck? I really do. Dave writes, in a strange story, Cowboy Bob Ellis, Robert was his name, who had been believed to be the oldest living American pro wrestler and who had disappeared from the scene in recent decades, was found in an Ellis family tree to have died, get this, December the 21st, 2018. We just reported that in the internet age. We just find out that Bob Ellis is dead.
What's more pro wrestling than to find out the oldest living American pro wrestler isn't living at all and hasn't been for quite a few years? It's work, brother. I knew he wasn't alive. I knew it the whole time.
I got the biggest kick out of that. All right, number 2, we have a video. I'm going to go to Twitter again. We used something from him last, or her, I don't know. Them, how's that? At AEWFUL Wrestling, AEWFUL Wrestling on X. The death of AEW is the Twitter handle. And, man, I cannot believe that the fans in Chicago, Gene, they've just got horrible. Chicago fans are horrible anyway, but it's even got worse. So we're going to play the news article right here.
Well, take a look at this bizarre occurrence. It's happening all over the city of Chicago. For the last several weeks, there has been a sudden rash of vandalism in the city, with car windows being smashed. Now, while city residents are quite angry about the damage done to their vehicles, they're also perplexed. These particular car break-ins are unusual. The culprits, donned in black masks and black outfits, don't seem to be taking any items from the vehicles as one would suspect, but rather leaving something behind in the vandaled vehicles. Tickets for this week's Dynamite in Chicago. Our reporter on the street, Amy Wellhouse, has the story.
Awesome. Chicago fans, you guys suck. You sickos. They're all sickos, Gene.
I mean, ironically, like I said, I'm a huge CM Punk fan, but most of the people in Chicago are real pieces of shit. You know, I can name a few if you got time. Well, we got to keep going. We're almost to number 1.
All right, and number 1, and guys, if you notice, we went over 1 hour, and I stuck with it tonight. That's right. You get the whole full show except Patreon. Our number 1 story is Vince McMahon in a car wreck, and I did not have footage of the actual car wreck, but, Gene, I want to show you the footage of, well, this is Vince McMahon driving.
Oh.
Well, that wasn't as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. But he was going in and out of traffic. Apparently, Vince McMahon, he turned 80. He's going to turn 80 this month, was in an accident on 7/26 at 9 a.m., just 51 minutes before Hulk Hogan was rushed to the hospital. TMZ reported that McMahon was driving his 2024 Bentley when he rammed into the back of a 2023 BMW. not a Ford Pinto or anything.
No.
And then hit a medium wooden beam guardrail. This wasn't far from WWE headquarters. Then we had the person that got hit, got online and posted something, but she took it down afterwards. She said he hit me going 80 to 90 miles an hour as I drove the right lane of the narrow, and she gave the road. I and the dog are mostly fine, but was lucky to have kept control of the car, or more or less, as I shot off the road after being catapult. I can't even say it, catapult over 100 yards.
Jeez.
So we have Vince McMahon still driving and driving nuts at 80 years old. What the fuck? Why is he still having to drive himself, number one, and why are they letting him drive?
Goddamn, pal. Nobody lets Vince McMahon do anything. He does whatever he wants to, buddy. I mean, you don't have a fancy 2024 Bentley and have, Virgil drive you around or whatever. I mean,
Virgil.
He shouldn't be out there burning up the roads like that. But have you seen that recent image of him from that TMZ deal?
Yeah, I've got it wrote down for next month.
Have you got the comment everybody's been saying?
No, I haven't. What's he look like?
People say he looks like a puppet like Pinocchio who was turned into a real boy, but then aged 80 years. And it's pretty damn accurate when you look at that. That is a scary image of Vince. But thank God he got rid of that damn mustache, though. What the hell was that about? That was not a good look at all.
I love that killer mustache. After they had stuff about this wreck, we saw some pictures. The cars were slaughtered. And then they had people coming out. I think one of them was Jim Ross, and there was somebody else where they said they would, back in the day, they would never ride with Vince McMahon. He's always been a crazy driver, and when he offered to ride with them or him drive them, they would say no.
Yeah, Cornette's always said that, that like the most scared he's ever been in a vehicle was one time he was roped into getting in a vehicle with Vince McMahon driving.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, guys, that was WTF News Desk for the month of July. Join us next month. Gene, you want to put over all your shit real quick?
Okay, real quick. You can check out everything to do with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast at uswapodcast.com. You can check out everything related to the Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich podcast at DougGilbertPodcast.com. You can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com at Retro Wrestling Archive. We have over 3,000. We're rocking on towards over 3,500 videos on there. We're almost to 9,000 subscribers. All kinds of old school wrestling matches, full shows. Then you got, all kinds of podcasts, my podcast, some of Brian's podcasts, Tony Richards, Pro Wrestling Time Tunnels on there. So a lot of great stuff. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And let's see, I also do the Regional Wrestling 1985 with Ray Russell on WrestleCopia.com. So check out all the great stuff that Ray has over on WrestleCopia. And got the Eddie Gilbert books out now. You can get it at Amazon.com. And we are getting very, very close to wrapping up Wolfie D's book, which will be out in the next few weeks. And we'll talk about that once we finish that up very soon.
I'm going to bring you on with just me and you talking about that. I'm excited about it. Wolfie D fan since the start. And we talked about, the Doug and Tommy podcast that you do every week. Just one of my favorite podcasts. I hate you because I had not been listening to wrestling podcasts, just true crime and stuff like that. Because I comedy and true crime, because I do wrestling. I'm in the middle of wrestling all the time. But I listen to that USWA one, and I have fun when I'm on the USWA one. I'm going to be on next week's USWA, right?
That's
I'll
right.
be on next
Back
week's
again.
Back again. All right, guys. Same bat time, same bat channel on the best little wrestling podcast in Be there for Patreon. Go to link of all links at stspod.club. Join our Patreon. It's on sale right now, only $3. Or you can go to Gene's Patreon. You can go to both Patreons. Dude, for less than $10, you can do both Patreons. And as everyone knows, well, you know this by now, I love my mama.